Although many people now view Adolf Hitler as nothing short of the most evil person in the world, there was a time in his life when he was an average human being. Many things in his childhood and adolescence affected the person we know in history to be one of the most hated rulers of all time. The struggle for his father's acceptance and acknowledgement of his accomplishments as a child affected his view on life and angered him in the need for power and control.
It all started on April 20th, 1889, when he was born and baptized to a Catholic church in the Upper Austrian border in a hotel still known as Brno am Inn. He was the fourth of 6 children to Alois Hitler and Clara Pols. Throughout his entire childhood, him and his father disagreed on many things and were constantly clashing. This past fueled his passion to later become the ruler of the Nazi regime. This is an attempt to map out his past to understand the genocide, which was the Holocaust.
As a family, the Hitlers moved to the capital of Upper Austria, Linz. Still young, Hitler strongly desired to be an artist, but his father did not allow it. Bickering was a constant between the two, but Hitler always lost the arguments due to his father's pride, until his father's death. He proceeded to convince his mother to let him pursue his dreams in visual arts. After getting off to a late start, he was a novice when he applied to the Vienna Academy for Arts in 1907, which led to his rejection simply because his work was not adequate. Even after a second attempt to apply for the academy, Hitler was again turned down.
From February 1908 to May 1913, Hitler resided in Vienna. After both of his parents had passed, he rejected the inheritance they left behind and proceeded to live in homeless shelters for about a year after he arrived in Vienna. He did manage to make money off of a watercolor painting he drew of Vienna for a business partner, but nothing extensive came from that. He was not making the money he intended to make, therefore he was not happy. It was a very stressful time in which he was unprepared for, so he looked for someone to blame. This is where it is known that he developed his anti-Semitism beliefs from.
In the Treaty of Versailles, the United States, Great Britain, France, and other Allied states imposed severe terms on Germany. Under threat of invasion, Germany was forced to sign the treaty. The terms of the treaty led to widespread political discontent in Germany. Adolf Hitler gained even more support when he promised to overturn them. Having extensive support fed to Hitler's ego, which made him become more destructive. At this point, he was unstoppable. Nothing could get in his way.
In 1923, Germany continued to pay war reparation to Britain and France. Hitler decided to make his first attempt to overthrow the government by force. This was known as the Beer Hall Push. Though the uprising was terminated immediately and Hitler was arrested for high treason and had a 5-year sentence in prison. Due to his strong desire for the possession of power, this did not stop him. While he was doing his time in prison, Hitler wrote his autobiography, Mein Kampf. It promoted components of Nazism such as anti-Semitism and foreign policies towards Lebensraum.
Hitler was very much known to be persuaded when it comes to delivering a speech. Oftentimes, scholars argue that the main reason he got into power was because of his speeches.
14 Jahre lang haben diese Parteien die deutsche Freiheit vergewaltigt, den deutschen Menschen geknebelt und geschlagen. 2 oder 3 Monate vergangen sind, wird euer Terror beseitigt sein. Verwahren wir das
In the elections in 1924, before the economic depression struck, the Nazis were practically unknown. In the 1932 elections, the Nazis won 33% of the votes, more than any other party. In January 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor, the head of the German government, and many Germans believed that they had found a savior for their nation.
On February 27, 1933, the Reichstag building went up in flames. Nazis immediately claimed that this was the beginning of a communist revolution. This fact leads many historians to believe that Nazis actually set or helped set the fire. Others believe that a deranged Dutch communist set the fire. The issue has never been resolved. This incident prompted Hitler to convince Hindenburg to issue a decree for the protection of people and state that granted Nazis sweeping power to deal with the so-called emergency. On August 2, 1934, President Hindenburg died. Hitler combined the offices of Reich Chancellor and President, declaring himself Führer and Reich Chancellor.
To me, and not only to me, he was a genius, but only of the evil.